all things being equal, and me being at the cusp of, can you say you're at the cusp of something? But like, at this point, sorry, old habits die hard. But at this point right now, I am genuinely fucking exhausted. And I realize that as I grow older, it is much easier to, like, I find myself feeling this same feeling of lethargy. You get, hold on while I fire up the game. Yes. Like, I find myself going through these motions time and time again. You get, like, how many tire can somebody tire in one lifetime? And that's not actually how I planned to start, my YouTube career, really. But seeing as this is my third attempt to record this, I can't even fake enthusiasm, to be honest. Okay, let me hit record. Let's get this bitch going. There we are. So yeah, like I can't even fake. Hello. I can't even fake enthusiasm. You get, because man is so tired. But okay, let's start with something familiar. The time is 11 something on the something of something. And I can't lie, I feel like, I don't know. I've really, like, you guys have no idea how many times I've tried to record this, really. At different hours of the day. I am very tired. But at least it's quiet now. So this is what I look like. This is a very anticlimactic intro, to be very honest. But at least it works. Finally. Shut up, Joe. I'm about to play FIFA. I don't know. Let me tell you guys something that I found out recently. Yeah, so I really don't like other people's podcasts. I don't like other people's content. And I don't like other people generally. Well, not other people per se, but I'm not really like a fan. I remember being much younger and not really being a fan of E. This, whatever it is that I'm doing here, feels more like a video diary as opposed to the first episode of my podcast on YouTube. But I don't know how else to put it. Like, I'm really just vibing. I know actually to send many people like that. I was starting to feel a ways about it recently because I had seen a bunch of guys post. I had seen people post, like my friends really, I had seen them post on their statuses, I had seen them post other people's podcasts that they really enjoy. But it was a YouTube thing and it was like clips, short clips. And I was starting to feel some type of ways about whether or not my guys would like do the same for me. Like if they'd fuck with my content enough to want to do that kind of thing, you get. And I feel like I was just in my head. I was having a really bad day. You get. So I think I was just in my head. And the irony of that is, it sort of gave me like this. It put a lot of things in perspective, really, because at the end of the day, I started to really think about what exactly is it that these people are even doing that I'm even jealous of. Well, not jealous is not the word, but pressed about. You get. Like there's really nothing. I haven't seen the. And I feel like it's another thing that feeds the whole anxiety narrative that we're all having in our 20s in this era. Well, not just anybody in our 20s, but basically anybody alive, period. You get. I feel like there's just, there's so much sensory overload that I might as well, at this point, I might throw my phone in the ocean. And I mean that seriously. I remember having a mental breakdown one time a couple years ago. And I won't, right now, I won't say I'm completely over it per se, but at this point, I could give a fuck, really. You get. And I remember I was ranting on Twitter, right? And some guys that I used to fuck with, right? They thought I was joking, but I was really going through some shit. And I was just tweeting nonsense. And I deleted the account afterwards. That was my first. I'd had that account for years, really, but I just found myself just not being in a good space. And not seeing the possibility of me coming out of that space. Anytime soon. And then basically a long story short, I'm making this episode for the people that need it. I don't know if look at me feeling all philanthropic. I was thinking about it really, like if I was going to start the YouTube thing, you can barely see my fucking face, but it's calm. I was thinking about it and like, oh, plus like this is my favorite hoodie, so it's not as I'm not trying to give you people context. Like I was really thinking about it, that like the people who started to enjoy my podcast in the beginning. Popo says I'm proud now because I no longer spam people my podcast. So, but I feel like we're done. Like that's, I don't know. You get. I make my podcast for the neurotics. You get, for the insomniacs, for the mentally disturbed, for the neurodivergent, for the neurodivergent and also the neurotypical who think that, that's what I might just name this episode, neurodivergent. Like I really don't like I'm starting to really like check this out. Like when I was younger, or no, not even know when I was younger, but like at this phase in my life, let me not say at this phase, like I've actually gotten over it. But imagine like it's such a funny world you live in where people make fun of you for trying to have an original thought, for trying to be different. It's so weird. It's wild. There's this guy I know, Baron. I don't know if Baron, Jesus Christ. But I know this guy, Baron, he used to pronounce weird as weld. But at least that's one of the reasons why he stuck out in my mind out of so many nameless, faceless, useless people. You get? Like he's so wild that people like in this world, if you can actually be punished for trying to be yourself. Mad. Like if you say, okay, no, I don't want to be like, like past question. Like I want to be different. Like you will actually see Pepe, and I'm not even on some like me. I'm not the most. Messi can't take over. Dadaji. Like I'm not the most eccentric person I know, and that's saying a lot. To me, that's saying a lot. I know so many people. I know people that hate it though. I know someone that like. There was a couple years ago, I used to talk to this person. You already know when people start to say things like, oh, there was this person. You already know saying a woman matter. But like, yeah, there's someone like that. Like I stopped fucking with because like, I won't say she stopped fucking with me, but I feel like the moment she found out like she wasn't as highly placed as she thought in my life, she started to act different. She started to move different, and it's always very funny like that. There are so many things I would genuinely like a deeper understanding of in this world. And I'm not even saying that lightly. Like, I've all the wisdom, like, you start to realize that all the wisdom in this world cannot, like, stop certain things. It cannot buffer certain things, you get. Do you understand? Like, you could have all the experience and all the wealth of knowledge that money can buy and cannot buy, and you just realize that you're actually still just a fucking daft punk. It is so mad. Like, it is so mad. There are certain, like, a couple weeks ago, there's something I'm learning slowly, painfully, and that's like letting my ego die. And I know that like it's not as clear cut as I like to make it sound. Like who said it? Who was I talking to about like in the early stages of the podcast? And she was like, why do you do the podcast? And I was like, yeah, because I'm finding myself. And you're like, yeah, that's something that's never going to end. And yeah, like another like juncture or segue in the journey is the fact that I'm trying to learn how to kill my ego. You get. And I mean that genuinely from the bottom of my dark heart. Like, and I'm not trying to do it on some, trying to be a better person, because I really don't give a fuck about trying to be a better person. You get, because, like, better in relation to what? In relation to who? Do you understand? To my past self, to my future self, to the current idea of whoever the fuck it is that I am or I'm going to be. Do you understand? Like, sometimes when people say, oh, they are working on themselves, I'm like, why? Why? What is your altruistic motive behind it? What is your what is like, do you understand? Why are you just, not even why, but like, have you really sat down to think about it? Like, is the why worth it? Is the why you've told yourself worth it? I feel like I'm going on this fucking tangent. But yeah, like you said, you want to make something out of yourself, right? And you've given yourself a reason to do that. But is that reason itself, like, will it stand? You get. Like, is your reason for wanting to do it strong enough? Because, if there's anything I've learned in this life, is that, like, bullshit doesn't stop. Bullshit doesn't stop on God and the angels, man. On God and the angels. Bullshit does not stop. Like, you can't segue it. There's no alternative for like, facing your demons. There's really no alternative. There's no, you can't bribe it, you can't scam it, you can't cheat the process. You have to trust it. You get. And I don't know. Sometimes whenever I open my mouth to talk to you guys, or to talk to myself, and you guys listen, however that works, however that fucking works, like I won't lie and not say that I don't feel like a fraud, and I feel like it's something that I've said on the pod before, but sometimes it just feels like, yeah, I should shut the fuck up. Because now, for example, like recently I learned about a couple new mad concept, I learned that they don't score me. I learned about some in the interview. I learned about some new concepts, right? And I was thinking to myself, that like all these things that I've learned in such a short amount of time, is it enough to ease like whatever pain I might be experiencing in the next couple of days? Do you understand? Like, I mean some very, very deep shit. Some very, very deep stuff. Like, things that like, do you understand? Like, when was the last time you discovered something that made you go, oh, wow? Yeah, that was me the entirety of last week. Almost every day last week. You get? It was not like as if I was like, what have I been doing with all the 20-something years that I've been alive? Like, if such complex concepts exist and they can be explained in such like clear-cut terms, you get me? Like, it really makes me, like, it made me question whether or not I was paying attention to the things I thought I was paying attention to. You get? Like, for example, right, I'll give you guys this one. So, like, the reason people go, like, for the people that I fuck with them hard. And I know I'm going to sound like a Twitter babe or like one of those Snapchat hoes, but like, I really realized that once I switch off, like, it's really very difficult for me to care anymore. But because, like, I don't know, do you understand? Like, I sound like one of those Twitter bad bitches. Like, it's just I don't know, it's just something I've been really considering, because like there are people that I know that I would genuinely die for, I would give my life for, you get. And I just found out that number dwindled in the past few days. Like, dwindled. There are people that know secret things about me that can get me imprisonated. So I can work with me now, Jesus. Like, you get that kind of thing. There are people that know things about me that are like, yeah, it will get me in trouble. And I always try to keep them as close as possible. But then I just realized that actually, like, if some of them I've so X'd them out in my life on some, both for selfish reasons, yes, because I'm not perfect now, and I'm not that guy. My ass does not smell. You get, but also because like they did some stupid shit that I'm not sure I'm mature enough to forgive, which is actually the more honest answer. I'm not mature. I'm not sure I'm in that place in my life here where I can like just be like, yeah, no, I can let it go. You get? There are people that have said things to me in junior school that I will never forgive. And I know that's not very Christ-like, but like, you get, that's not very Jesus boy of me. But it really had me thinking. It really has me thinking. And I don't like thinking. Thinking is a never-ending process. And I saw Habiba's tweet or Habiba's bio, and like, she was like, overall best in overthinking. And I'm like, yeah, like, a lot of us in this day and age are actually very neurotic. A lot of us. Not cerebral, neurotic. We think to no end because we feel powerless. Because it is our only way of understanding certain concepts. Yes, we are very intelligent people. A lot of the people I know are brilliant. Fuck my yansh. These people know shit. But to what end? What is the price? What is the point of intelligence if you can't do anything with it, for fuck's sake? Do you understand? Like, why, do you understand? Like, and I don't know, I feel like I'm asking a very immature question that I know that if I was in another state of mind, right, like, I'd probably be able to like bullshit around eloquently, but sometimes it just feels like, man, them just they waste time. I swear on my life, on God and the angels, man, on God and the angels. Normally, at this point, I would even segue into like, oh, angels, sesh mesh, blah, 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 to the people who've seen it, blah, blah, blah. But like, I could really give a fuck on everything right now, man. Like, and that's the funny thing. They will tell you don't entertain certain thoughts when you're feeling, what is that nonsense? They will tell you don't entertain certain thoughts when you're in a certain frame of mind, right? that, oh, don't believe anything you tell yourself past 2 a.m. But I was talking to one of my closest G's today, and I was like, guy, we are all having these thoughts non-stop. Like, you can't tell me anything. Like, everybody's going through it, but does everybody have to go through it? And like, it raised more questions than answers, really. And I don't like where it doesn't look like something is not straightforward. Do you understand? Like, I don't ever like feeling like they are unsolvable questions. Like, do you understand me? There's a reason for everything. Yeah. And I feel like it's genuinely one of the reasons I broke up with one particular girl I was seeing 1 year like that. Because I felt like she couldn't see the bigger picture. You get? Which is ironic because I'm actually very nearsighted. Not as per but like I can be very stupid. You get? Like, I always felt like if I always needed to over-explain certain things, then there was no point saying it at all because they're just not seeing it from the perspective that I'm seeing it from. However, you get that kind of thing. So it has me feeling like a radical. But like, I would just like it for like, and the thing about it is, I'm not the type of person to open my mouth and say, oh, I wish I was still a child, because God forbid. These ones are just scoring illegal goals. What the fuck now? Like, I'm not the type of person to open my mouth and say, oh, I wish it was in primary school. Because one of the most important things that I've learned in the past week is the fact that, like, well, no, I didn't just learn it, but I'm actually just going to share it with you guys. It's like, when I was younger, I used to wish that every day was Saturday. And I remember particularly saying it out loud one time in assembly, in handmaids, my primary school. Like, I wish. And I remember, I can't remember this girl's name, Tosin something. Like, she overheard me saying it, and she was like, Timmy, you're lazy. And I was like, okay. And I feel like it's one of the things that sort of stuck with me for life, because I was like, am I really lazy if I wish every day was Saturday? You get? And it was a question like I asked myself occasionally whenever I was feeling particularly unnecessarily lethargic. Like, am I really, like, am I wrong for wanting to catch a motherfucking break? Do you get that kind of thing? Like, I used to wonder. I still do. Or I still did until COVID-19. And I feel like I'm the only one that is still stuck on COVID-19 because, like, I don't feel like we processed it. I feel like we just went back to, like, our everyday bullshit so casually. Like, no, we didn't just suffer, like, an event, or we didn't just all, like, collectively. John, on a global scale, when last did anything in this world happen on a global scale? Even if, I think the last, like, seriously global event was World War II. Or maybe World Cup. Even World Cup, not be every country they participate inside World Cup. So you can't even say World Cup is a global event. Do you understand what I'm saying? These ones are just scoring stupid goal. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can't even say World Cup is a global event. But COVID-19, everybody felt it. Everybody felt it. Okay, you can say this Russia invasion too, because it's affecting, like, you know, the markets and the economy and all that shit. People that are smarter than me will come and tell you that one. But, like, it's such a mad thing, because how are you in a position where the entire, like, you're experiencing world-changing events that a lot of people have not even recovered from, and you're just like people I know are tweeting like they craze, they go, and it's a joke, but it's not really a joke. Like, nobody's mental health is where it should be, and I'm not even like an idealist. I'm not the type of person to open my mouth and say, oh, like, there's, you know, the rainbow is shitting sunshine and the unicorns are vomiting homosexuals. You get that kind of thing? Like, stop scoring. They beat me 4-2 and they just, why is this one counting leg over in, maybe not part of the things where they even annoy me, chef. Maybe now why I did so pessimistic today. But walai, there shouldn't be such a price for being so different. Like, how do you go through COVID, through lockdown? I put on my status, like, at what point did lockdown end in Nigeria? At what point was it, like, were we out of it? Because we just, one moment we were locked up in our houses, people were experiencing life on a very, on different scales, and the next thing, like, boom. You get COVID-19, every day was Saturday. And that's where people really understood, like, time was a concept. And what's even annoying to me personally is the fact that I feel like nobody learned anything from COVID. Nobody. Not the institutions we work at, not the schools that we school at, Not the health agencies that we held, because now they've said there's monkey virus. After corona, there was Zika. After Zika, there's monkey. After monkey, there's probably cat. Our stupid Nigerian government, somebody that said that termites ate something. And like, we need to stop blaming our idiocy on the animal kingdom, because I think we're bigger animals than monkeys could ever be. Like, we're putting baboons to shame with our foolishness. In fact, it's even actually wrong of me to call baboons foolish just because they have a different way of life. Because as it is now, the only difference between us and them is the fact that we don't even speak good English. I can't even say we speak English because we don't even speak English. Imagine being the greatest empire in the world at one time and then becoming the smallest island, the smallest, like, I don't know, man. And my thoughts are all over the place right now, man. The British Empire. That's what I was talking about, in case you didn't catch that. Like, the damage that those motherfuckers have done to the modern world is completely, like, we will never know. We will have to actually, like, restart the human race if we're actually going to have a completely, like, if we're going to start understanding how deep, like, the damage went. You get? Because there are allegedly 200 countries in the world, right? Allegedly. Because apparently people can't agree on the number of countries that there are in the world. So imagine there are 200 countries in the world. And out of those 200 countries, like, let's say 10% or less than have not been colonized by an European nation, or by the British to be precise. Like, imagine, like, what things they saw, like, and you know, I'm not the type of person to, like, dwell anymore on, what would have happened if a friend of mine almost, like, she would have been snuffed on some real life shit. And because of the way I handle pain and trauma, and the way my friends handle pain and trauma, like, you would think we're very insensitive. You get? You would think we're bastards on some real life nigga shit, like, you get? But it's just the way we go. Like, she would have actually died. She would have died badly. Do you understand? Like, on some, it's the kind of thing that they tell you that, you dey whine me. Do you understand? Like, real life, like, you would have just been like, this one whining me. That's what you would have said. How is that not offside? Goretzka, well done. You get? And you have to believe in the high. It's things like that will make you believe in higher powers, because it was so close. It wasn't even so close. All the odds were not in her favor. She should have actually died that night, if I'm being very serious. With the way everything was set up that night, she should not be alive right now. And I'm keeping it a buck. But because higher powers now, you get the highest power, to be very honest, because I'm Jesus boy. And, like, how do you process, I almost died, if I had gone with my natural routine, all things being equal, I should be dead in this fucking moment. Like, how do you understand me? Like, where do you want to start processing it from? And that brings me full circle back to the, like, intelligence thing, because every what do you call it? Every person I know that's had a near-death experience is like it reshapes your worldview. In fact, let me even come straight. One of the things that I learned is how nothing is ever solid. I was telling Chambang recently, right? We linked up for a shoot, and I was telling Chambang recently, like, is when people say conventional thoughts, like, what exactly is conventional? Conventional was derived from the word convenient. So, like, what exactly is conventional? You get me? Like, it's just the lowest hanging fruit. People will just go for the easiest thoughts, and then they will make it standard. So it's not as if it's based or predicated on anything, like, higher, or, do you understand? Like, it's not as if it's one kind of deep thought like that. So you have to ask yourself, what the fuck is what? One of the things that I've learned is that nothing is ever really, like, standard per se. No thought process is standard. No way of life is standard. Like, everything I do is standard. Like, there's no you can't pinpoint, like, you can't how do you put it? You can't sit down and come and say, this is the way they should do it. This is the way it is done. Because if you investigate it, really, it's not based on anything real. Tolu would have died that day. And on my life, I saw it, like, for like 2 seconds, like, so many things were flashing through my mind right at that moment. Because, like, on the other hand, a friend of mine lost his, like, pops. And I was thinking, like, why now? Why him? Why this moment? Do you understand? Like, on one hand, somebody that by all like, while all things being equal, like while we should be making burial arrangements, all things being equal, I swear to God, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was so mad. All things being equal, she should be dead, but she's not, and we give glory to God. Do you understand? So it's not like, and now she's now trying to process the fact that, like, oh, okay, I should be dead. How do you process something? I only work on Nonipa. How do you process something like that? Like, I should be dead in this instant. Like, what do you use? Do you go, and this is another misconception that I feel like, let me even pause this game. Let me even think properly. This is another misconception that I'm trying to do away with, right? That I learned, but I haven't fully understood yet, is how people like to separate logic from emotion. But that's not the way it goes. That's not the way, like, human beings were designed, or that's not the way, like, things were intended. You get me? Like, you're not designed to separate your logic from emotion. They're supposed to, how did the guy put it? How did the guy put it? He put it, your logic and your emotions are horses that are pulling a chariot. And you are the chariot, or wherever you think you are. You know, because human beings were made up of little moving parts, basically. We are not long, like, the moment you start to see yourself as the sum total of, like, the moment you stop to see yourself as one whole being and rather this, do you understand? Like, I feel like it gives a lot of things perspective. I don't know if you guys are still with me. I'm looking at this portrait of my mom and my dad. And if you know how different they are in mannerisms, in expression, in speech patterns, dress patterns, two very unique people. But if you see them together, you think they were twins, which is like weird. You get incest, but you get what I mean. Like, they are both very unique people, but they fit each other. They like very, like, do you understand? And while all knowing fully well that nothing is perfect, the fact that they were able to raise me in the environment that they did and in the way they did, it makes me very, very grateful, both to the highest power and to them for actually even just doing it. Because while I growing up, and I think I said this on, like, the Into the Abyss episode, like, while I coming up, the amount of, like, the amount of marriages that did not work, that we thought would work, or more. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, you think your happiness is predicated on time, place, location, person, personality, experience, shared experience, hormones, serotonin, nothing. Like, there is really no standard for anything. You just really have to take it as it comes. Why me? Why not you? What makes you special? Well, you really just have to live life. You can't overthink it. You can't overthink it. You can't. There's no space for neurosis. And if I'm going to be very honest, if I'm going to, like, take it on a spiritual level, well, I think all this anxiety that we're all suffering from is actually a satanic attack. I swear on my life. I swear with every fiber. Oh shit! You know, it has stopped recording, so let me just chill. Yeah, there we go. So what was I saying? I was saying something about how, like, anxiety attacks feel like spiritual attacks. But yeah, with every fiber of my being, I believe that to be true. Because you can't tell me, like, let me give you guys Wolf, for example, right? Wolf is one of my OGS friends, right? Like, we don't talk every time. We have sort of like a, you know, the kind of, look at this. See, these German bastards, they have wounded my guy. See, Nazis. Well, what was I saying? Because, like, he fell on his elbow. Shit. Anyhow, that's actually the first time I've seen that in this game. Like, that bad, sha. But yeah, like I was saying, because I can't imagine people that are like it's like when I made that All My Friends Are Gods episode, right? Like, how can the most talented, qualified, intelligent, in fact, overqualified set of people be fighting demons the way they are fighting demons? Like, I don't know a single friend right now that's not going through some real life shit. And I understand that the world and the times that we're living in is not exactly like ring around the roses type shit, but like at least be okay. Jonathan, like let your okay be more than your kolo, but no, everybody's kolo is more than their okay. Like how? Like what's your kolo to normal ratio at this point in life? Like nobody dey okay. People just dey craze, they go. Everybody just dey guide. What was I saying, right? Like everybody just dey craze, they go, and I can't deal, man. I can't deal. Like I know, like there's no ideal existence. There's no, but at least on some level. Like if it's rich niggas, like I know guys that have stupid money. Jesus Christ, I know people that have like One of my friends, when I went to see him in his house, he was like, I know say people go talk say I do ritual. I made them talk say I do ritual. You get like that's how much money he has. You dig? And I have no like qualms talking about my rich friends because everybody's timeline in this life is very different. You get so tomorrow get belly. You get like, but even the kind of like sometimes like. And I'm saying this like from the bottom of my OG heart. Like there are some problems that some of my guys who have money have that I would like. If this is what comes with it, the money, then I don't want the money. And I mean that, and I'm being very serious right now. I would not want another person's problems, even if it came with money. Even if they were like, oh, you can solve these problems because like, what the fuck? Like, you would know, right? That how many of these problems are really actually solvable, you get me? I don't know, I've been thinking a lot and I don't know, man. A bunch of my guys I won't even call them my guys. A bunch of people that I went to school with have been getting married. And that's another thing that's annoying me. Not just because you have no idea how pissed off I am. I'm really just calm, and I'm really just balanced right now. But I'm very, very irritated by a number of factors, a number of things. I would really just like certain things to be a certain way. But Bolade said something that was very pertinent. He said, the world doesn't move at your pace. And if you expect the world to move at your pace, then it means that you are moving backwards. That's one of the smartest things I've ever heard anybody my age say in my life. In my whole life. If you expect the world to move at your pace, then you are moving backwards. Yeah? If I was saying, aka moonwalk. With all the struggle that man is seeing on a daily, you will not be reversing. You're jerking. Teach me how to jerk. Teach me how to jerk. I also be learning a shatan in a gym. Every cook tick up my boys to fellow gym. See Messi go. This guy not demon. But unless dystopia matters, ladies and gentlemen, by this time, by the grace of God, let me not even say by this time, by the grace of God, Searchmet should be ready. It should be out by now, actually. It should be out by now, by the grace of God. It should be out by now, because I'm hoping for this thing to coincide. I want to be like, I want to be so tired, man. And I'm not even tired on some like physically tired. I'm just like, because what's the point of sleep if it's your soul that's tired? But yeah, man, I would like a PA, or at least like 7 Kage Bunshins. Shadow clones for the people who don't know what a Kage Bunshin is. I would like it. I would like me person just they help me they do the hard parts. Make I just they do the Jayi part. Man. This is not what man them thought life would be like when like we were writing WAEC. And I feel like I had a glimpse. Let me even wind myself now and say I feel like I had a glimpse. But like the sheer scale of it is mind-boggling. Like waking up daily knowing that every decision you make is life-threatening. Hey, life-threatening. Every decision you make right now, it could potentially make or break you. But I think like if you think like that, then you've not started thinking at all, because you just have to take like the amount of things that are completely out of your control far outweigh and outnumber the things that you get. I saw this one just they can't let go over. Sunny, now we slide though. The sliding did not catch him. Yeah. Moshe party mo pe whiskey. Yeah, Moshe party. Oh. Mo pe Starboy big wiz. Another thing that even annoyed me this last week was that I want to be like Machala song that was stuck in my head. I want to be like Machala. I would like a lot of things in this life to make sense, man. But if they did, then, and this is not the irritating part of it, if certain things in life made sense the way I would like for them to make sense, then it wouldn't be life. I was telling Stoney that I know a bunch of people that have the kind of life we idealize, the kind of life that we crave. And I can tell you that their head is even less correct than our own, because those ones are sick. Like, those guys have very, very sick, like on some Sodom and Gomorrah type vibes. Like, at this point, there's conjecture and exaggeration, but obviously, you know what I'm talking about. Like, bored rich people are very, like, abnormal. Like, yeah, they are not like, yeah. Being rich and bored is a very horrible place to be in Nigeria. Like, some of the things that I've heard, like, yeah, I had to block some people. Like, you know, the fact that you even know people that are doing this type of things is very disturbing to me. And you know what they say about, like, truth being stranger than fiction now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm already tired. And I'm not even eating this night, safe, bro. Man hasn't even eaten this night. How is that offside? You people don't have to know your mates. But yeah, I've actually had fun, like, exercising my demons, I guess. I'll try to be more consistent with this one. Like, because I don't know. Being a one-man company is not the, like, I signed up to be a creative. I didn't sign up to be a slave now. Even if it's not to my own desires now. To my own dreams and aspirations. But yeah, like, I'll try and be more consistent, yeah. As difficult as that may be. Come on! Lionel Mawiri. So yeah, I don't know what nonsense catchphrase you people want me to use this time, but and another I feel like this is something I should even address. All my life, while, like, I wasn't expecting Shamalama Ding Dong to be one of the biggest, like, takeaways from my fucking podcast. Or, like, because I just be opening my mouth, I just be vibing. You get. So I wasn't expecting anybody to come and be like, yeah, nigga, put it on a shirt, nigga. But you people should buy my clothes and rescue me from the trenches. So that I can be giving, well, you know, money doesn't solve everything. You know, it doesn't bring happiness, you know. I swear, you know what the funny thing, one of the I won't say benefits per se. I'll just say one of the hilarious things about not having as much money as you would like is the fact that you can imagine all the things that you do with money. But when the money comes like this, and it is a genuinely human, like, it's part of the human experience, how contextual we are. Everything is context now. Like, you would expect that, oh, okay, you will be smarter with your money. But if you realize just how much work goes to even being financially reasonable, like, bro, on that note, everything is not money. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, my song of the week is Consuela, Belly, Young Thug, some other people that I don't know. Yeah, that's song of the week. Music video of the week. I don't know when I started that one. Is Fireboy. Ashake is still my artist of the year. So yeah. What else? Yeah, Shamalama Ding, don't go fuck yourself. Shalom.